Welcome to our weekly Forex Forecast here, and this is for the week of February 18th to 22nd, 2019. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be mindful of that and be careful with your money. We will start off by taking a look at our Forex Factory calendar as usual here. So for this week, coming up on Monday here, we have monetary policy meeting minutes for Australia here. We had some some come out, I think it was last week, a couple weeks ago. So anyway, anytime there is central bank speaking or central bank doing anything, there will be, there usually is a reaction to that. So just be careful with that one. That will have an impact on Australian dollar. Current account here, even though it's not marked as a red news, it usually tends to have an impact on the market. So this is like your trade balance, and exports and imports are very important to any country, especially these days here. We have, with the trade wars and everything. So this will be important for euro and will have an impact on that. Now, a very important thing here for UK here for British pound, we have average earnings and employment data coming out. So this is kind of like a non-farm payrolls for the US. It will have an impact for the British pound. And with this one, it's not just the employment numbers that tend to move the markets, it's also the average earnings. So if the average earnings are not growing, but the employment is okay, it can still have a negative impact on British pound here. So just keep that in mind. We have economic sentiment numbers for euro. And then we have wage numbers here for Australia. So same thing that I said for British pound earlier, the wage numbers are important here, the index, because if the wages are not increasing, that will usually have a negative impact on the currency. So that's that. And then we have FOMC this week, February 20th here on Wednesday. FOMC is always very important. So anytime there's Fed or central bank, like I said, it will have an impact. So with the Fed now, things have changed a bit from last year. Last year, they were very much for raising rates in 2019. But this year we have, last year we saw some critique from President Trump about Fed raising rates, and there have been some meetings between them. And overall, the market conditions have changed slightly. So as a result of that, Fed is not as bullish anymore in terms of raising rates this year. So now in this, in the meeting minutes here, if we see similar type of talk there, that will have a negative impact on US dollar. However, if they are a little bit more optimistic about the economy and so forth, that can have a positive impact on US dollar. So this is what we would be watching out for in FOMC. And employment numbers here for Australia, those are important as well. So with the British pound, we saw that the wage index and employment numbers came in at the same time. With Australia here, they come in at different times, so a day apart. So, but both of these numbers are important in terms of the currency strength. So negative numbers here will be negative for Australia if that happens. And then we have a whole bunch of PMI numbers from the Eurozone here, from UK as well. PMI numbers are important because they're precursor to retail sales. So if PMI numbers are weak, then retail sales tend to be weak. So that's why these numbers are important, because they're leading indicators. So if we get negative data here, that will have a negative impact on both the euro here, as well as, actually not UK, sorry, Germany here. Okay, so just out of the Eurozone, so this will have a negative impact on the euro if these numbers are negative. And also coming up, we have ECB monetary policy meeting minutes. Again, this news is marked as orange, but in my opinion, this should be red because it is very important. Anytime ECB puts out stuff, so this is just like the FOMC meeting minutes we saw earlier here, they are the same. So these will be important and will have an impact on the euro. Again, it's the commentary, what they're discussing in their meetings. That's what we are after here. So here, And then in the New York session, we have core durable goods orders. Again, this will be important. And then again, oh my God, lots of central banks this week. We have Bank of Canada, Governor Polow speaking, Reserve Bank of Australia, Governor Lau speaking. So tons of central bank activity this week. So when this happens, because we are going through this interesting time right now, because things are changing with the trade wars and things like that going on. Sorry, excuse me. Excuse me. So with those kind of problems, now people are getting more concerned about the world economy. And if central banks talk about this, it just shows that they may not be too keen on raising rates, which then is not good for the currency strength. So this is why these days our central banks are very, very important. So here on Friday as well, we have ECB President Draghi speaking. Again, this will be very important. And then we have more central bank stuff. We have monetary policy report and a whole bunch of Fed members speaking here. So Friday looks like a big central bank day, but overall the entire week, just pay attention to our news feed so that you know what's going on, because things can change based on the comments that come out. All right, so now let's move on to our charts. Here we go. We'll start off with our euro dollar as we normally do. So this is our euro here. Euro has been trading in this range for several weeks now, for a few months actually. So last week we had this bearish engulfing candle close, and this week we were looking for a drop. So price went down, didn't quite get to the 20 level, kind of got stuck at the 30 there, and from there it pushed back up. So now we are at the bottom of the range. So before we were at the top of the range, and because we are at the bottom of the range, we could go back into the range. So I will look for price to go back into the range here, because as we have seen, it's traded in this range for several months. So unless something really strong comes out one way or the other, price could just stay in the range. So overall, euro dollar is a range bound move for now. So I will look for a move back into the range. So that would be bullish for the euro. Pound here, on Friday, we saw actually US dollar did not do too well. We saw things reverse. So same thing here in British pound here as well. Last week, we were looking for a drop. We got that drop, and then price on Friday, things turned around. And this is where we see price has turned. So it came into the support, and now it pushed up. So even though there's bearishness in this candle, this long pin in the bottom suggests that buyers have stepped in and we could see this move higher. However, because there is bearishness in this candle, it could drop before it goes up. So just watch out for that. My bias is to the upside for this week and looking for price to go higher into 1.3020 because of the pin in the bottom there. And then we will be into the support resistance level here. And then we'll have to see how this responds, because we got a ton of Fed activity and all that. It could do this, or it could just continue up here. What will make a difference will be how price reacts at 1.3020. If it does not get through, then I would look for price to drop. Otherwise, it could go higher all the way into the top here. And as you will have noticed, this has been a little bit sort of a range bound here as well, bigger range than we have seen in euro. But nonetheless, it's been going back and forth. There hasn't been any kind of clear trending move overall in the last several months here. So it's just been back and forth. So now looking for it to go into 3020 level. And then if it gets through that, then potentially higher into a 1.3230 back into the top of this range here. So that's pound. Let's take a look at Aussie here. Aussie, last time we had a bearish engulfing candle here as well, but this one has actually pulled back. So it dropped a little bit, but came into the support here and has turned around from there. So this one as well, if you take a look at it, it is sort of range bound here. It tried to break through here with that flash crash, but we are back into the range here as well. So now it looks like price is reacting to the bottom, which means it can go higher now. So in this case, because we are into this here, this support, turning resistance, we just have to watch out for that because sometimes it can turn around here, but this is looking bullish for this week and it could go higher. So in this case, two scenarios I'm looking at. One is price goes into the support resistance and goes back lower because we have this type of move, drop, pull back, drop. But because we have a bullish candle close here, it could also just go through it like this and go back towards the top of the range. And so those are the two scenarios that we have to watch out for, just because it's right into this support level here that was very strong, and now it could react at this level once again. But overall bias is looking bullish. New Zealand dollar here. New Zealand dollar was actually quite strong this week. And this is, again, it's been range bound here for last little bit since November here. It's just been trading in this range. So now we have a bullish candle close. Last week it was bearish, came right into almost into the support. It has moved back, but this week, strong bullish candle for New Zealand. So we could get something like this, basically looking for a move towards the top of the range here. So 0.6950 will be the target to the upside. So bullish bias for New Zealand dollar. Dollar CAD, this one has been range bound here on the daily for the last several days here. So looking at the weekly, we can see it's just a small candle here. So with this one, it could go either way. But going back to the daily here, it looks like price got rejected at the high, which means we could see a drop. So I would look for something like this. So price to come test the bottom here. And if it breaks through, then we can see this move. But if it doesn't break through here, because this is an important level where price has reacted before, if it doesn't break down there, then it could just do one of these and go back into the range because it is range bound here as well. So things have been back and forth a bit. So no clear longer term trending moves. It's just mostly on the short term, they are going back and forth, but on the larger term, they haven't really they haven't moved a whole lot. Same thing with Euro Pound here. We saw price go up and now it came into the support resistance level. Now it's dropped from there. So in terms of our weekly, it hasn't really moved a whole lot. Now we have a tweezer top set up here. As we can see, twice price rejected that level, and that shows that price could drop from here. So in this case, bias is to the downside and looking for price to move into 0.8600 level. So in this case, we could get something like this. Price comes into, test the bottom, and then we'll have to see if it's able to break through, because this is also a strong support resistance level. And if it does break, then we will look for this. But first target here is 0.8600. So Euro Pound right now with these two pins there, tweezer top here, looks bearish at the moment. All right, so Euro Swiss here. Euro Swiss has also gone back and forth. This one, last week, we had a bearish candle close here. It went and tested the high once again, and now we have a pin on top. So with this one, bias will be to the downside, but keep in mind that it could test the high once again because there is bullishness in this candle. So it could go all the way up before it drops, and potentially then looking for it to move lower here towards 1.1220, 1.1220. So bias here will be bearish for our Euro Swiss franc here. All right, so next one, pound Swiss franc. This one is sort of bit in a channel here. Let me just see if I can draw this out. So we have this sort of a downward channel. So it's been sliding down overall, but hasn't really gotten very far. It's just been going back and forth. We do, on Friday, we had a bullish candle close. I could do one of these, come back down, that type of stuff from the daily. So let's take a quick peek at the weekly. So at the weekly, we see hasn't really moved a whole lot. We have a neutral candle close. We have pins on both sides, small candle body, so looking quite neutral. But looking at the daily, going back to the daily here, this is more of a channel. It's a descending channel. So I will look for a price to, so we have a bullish close here. I will look for it to go towards the top of the channel and then sort of do one of these and basically follow the channel. That's what it's doing right now. So with this one, slight bias to the upside here, then looking for it to drop from there. So this is pound Swiss franc. Let's go to dollar Swiss franc. This one looks weak here. We have, for several days here, it wasn't able to break the high. So in terms of our weekly here, there's bullishness in the candle, but we have a large pin on top here as well. So this candle here looks very similar to this one, which suggests that price could go and test the high because there is that bullishness. So let's draw this out. So looking for something like this, and if that resistance is strong, they're looking for it to drop. So let's take a quick peek at the daily once again. So in case of the daily here, this suggests that it could drop here because for several days, price has not been able to really break through to the highs. So on Friday, we had a pin. So I will look for something like this. This is the move I am anticipating, and basically push to the upside and then rejection and a drop. Target would be 0.9990 level. Dollar Swiss franc. Okay, pound yen. Pound yen on a weekly here. Okay, so here, this one is neutral as well. Price didn't really do a whole lot during the week. It dropped a bit into the support and then it has pulled back from there. So basically a very neutral candle from the weekly perspective. So let's go on to the daily here. So on the daily, price has just been going back and forth in this range right now. And at this point, we see that price has pushed up on Friday. So something like this is what I would look for. So price goes up into the high here. And then if it stays below 143.20 level, then we could see a drop. But from weekly perspective, the candle is very neutral and it could go either way. So there's no clear bias there. In terms of our euro here, so euro, we see that price went up here, tested the support resistance level once again, and now and it dropped, and it's been back and forth here as well. So with this one, there is again large pin on the top, which suggests that there are sellers there. But there's also that bullishness in the candle. We have this small candle body that's green. So this candle here looks very similar to this green candle here. And when you have this green in the candle, it means it can go push up higher again. So I will look for a retest here like this. And then if it stays below that support resistance level at 125.50, then I would look for it to drop. But at this point, there is bullishness in the candle, but there's rejection from the high, which means it can go test it and then drop again. Dollar yen. Dollar yen from weekly perspective here as well, it has gone up into our support resistance or into the support resistance level here. and now we saw price drop from there. So on the daily here, we had a bearish candle close and then a neutral. So overall, the bias here is to the upside still. But the move is not looking like it has a lot of momentum in it. So with this one, I would say we could do a retest of the trend line here. And if it holds above, it could go higher. So compared to other ones, pound yen or euro yen here, dollar yen actually is looking more bullish because it has larger candle body here, but we are into the support resistance again. So with this one, the way I will look at this one would be, we go into test the high, and if price is able to break through the high, only then would I look for a continuation to the upside. So overall, there's still bullishness. So dollar yen is still bullish, but I would be cautious here because of this large pin. So I will look for a push into the high. If it holds below the resistance, then we're looking for a drop. If it goes through, then I will look for the next level here, 112.20 level. So again, they are all over the place right now, most of these pairs. So we just have to look at a smaller time frame when price gets to those levels. Let's go into other ones here, Aussie yen. Aussie yen has also pushed back. We had a bearish engulfing candle here, but it has pulled back into the support resistance level here. And now we have a bullish candle close. But if you look at it for several weeks here, price has just stayed in this range. And now we have a bullish candle close. So a couple of ways to look at this. One would be if price doesn't make it past this level here, then it could just turn from here. But more likely here, price could go into the high like that, and then we see it come back down. So this is range bound here for several weeks. So I will look for price to go back into the high and then see if it will come back into the range and drop from there. So right now, this is looking bullish. New Zealand yen here, this one has been bullish this week here. We had a big bearish candle close, and now it has gone back all the way into the high once again. So now we have a bullish engulfing candle. So it's been going back and forth. A lot of these crosses have done that. We have seen prices just back and forth here. So now we have a bullish engulfing candle. We are into support and resistance. If you take a look at it, this is an important support resistance level. Now, if price breaks through this level, then I would look for a continuation to the upside here. But as you see here, when price was at this level here, see how we had a strong bullish candle close, but we couldn't really get through this level here. So we're kind of in a similar position where we are right into that support resistance level once again. So we have to be careful. That's the bottom line. But this is looking bullish. So bias is bullish. And what I would look for, if it's to break, then I would look for break, pullback, and then a continuation move to the upside. But overall, bias is bullish. We just have to use caution here. But bias is bullish, looking for it to go higher. 77.80 will be the target to the upside. So bullish bias here for New Zealand yen. All right, CAD yen. And then we'll go into our commodities. CAD yen also trading in this range here for the last 4 weeks. We have a bullish candle close, but if you take a look at the daily here, we see that the price rejected the high here, had a bearish candle close, a pullback, and we could potentially get a drop from the daily perspective. But in the weekly here, we have a large bullish candle, which means I will look for price to go up, test the high, and if it doesn't go through, then looking for it to come back into this range again. So this one is a range bound here, and I will look for it to stay in the range here. Okay, so let's move on to our commodities now. Oil has been strong this week. We had a bearish move last week. It went into the support, has pulled back from there. Now we have a big bullish candle close here. Again, just keep in mind, we are into the support resistance level. It has closed above this previous highs, which is a good sign here. But just keep that in mind because it could turn. But this is bullish right now. So bias is bullish, looking for it to continue higher. And when oil goes up, dollar CAD drops. So that's just something to just keep that in mind as we are trading. So this one here, looking for it to go up higher. So bullish bias for oil, first target 58.20, second target 60. So bullish bias here. Again, be mindful of the multiple support and resistance levels here. This is strong here as well. And this one looks quite strong as well. But once it gets through here, I would just look for a pullback and then a further move to the upside. Gold looking quite strong here. We have a bullish pin bar here for gold. So I would look for price to go up higher. 135.45 will be the first target. And then if it goes through 1360 is the second target. So with the gold here, gold and Aussie, if gold keeps going up, Australian dollars likely to keep going up as well because they are positively correlated here. So just keep that in mind. With this one here, we saw it go back into support and now we have a bullish pin bar. Only thing to keep in mind here is that we are very close to the resistance at 1324. So just like this one here, see how it didn't make through, even though it was a bullish candle, it did not make through the resistance. That could happen. So that's why it's best to look at smaller time frame to see, does it go through? If it goes through, looking for a pullback and a continuation to the upside. But on the chance that it doesn't go through, this could happen as well. But right now, this is looking bullish. We have a bullish pin bar, twice price got rejected, so this could move higher. And FOMC is coming out. Usually at this point, I'm not looking for Fed to raise rates anytime soon, so we could get a bullish move there. Copper here, copper is looking bullish. We have a bullish pin bar for copper here, so I would look for price to go up. Now, this has been trading in a range as well. So if you take a look at sort of the larger range, this is the range it's been trading at. So now we are heading back towards the top of the range. So bias is bullish. 2.85 will be the target for copper here for this week. And now let's take a look at, we'll take a quick peek at silver. And then we will move into, so here's silver. Silver is looking bullish as well. We have this pin in the bottom, which suggests price could go higher. So looking for it to go higher into 16.14 here. So bullish bias for silver as well. Okay, so next one, let's take a quick peek at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin not doing a whole lot for the last little while here. It's just been trading in this range here. Now it is holding the high towards the high of the range, which means it could go higher, but it's just not doing a whole lot. It's just kind of drifting right now and it just looks range bound. So I would just look for it to shuttle back and forth in this range till something comes to push it higher. But for now, this is looking very much range bound at the moment. S&P 500. Okay, let's take a look at equities here. Equities are doing well right now because there were rumors that showed that there was that US and China were quite far apart in their talks. The very next day, we heard more comments come out that said, actually, that's not true. They are closer in terms of reaching an agreement. And as a result of that, it really boosted the stock markets higher. And we have a big, solid candle close here for our equities. So this is looking very bullish. I would look for price to go up higher here into the top of the this support resistance level here. So bias is bullish. Target is 28.17 for S&P 500. But then we are into important support and resistance, and we could get this type of a move. But for now, bias is bullish into 28.17 level, which is the support and resistance. Let's take a look at NASDAQ here. NASDAQ is also looking bullish, and I will look for it to go higher. Target is 7,200, so bullish bias and looking for price to come into this level here. Nikkei here also looking bullish. We have a big bullish candle close here, so looking for price to move higher. 21510 is the first target, 21897, so that's the second target, 22,000. Bullish as well. DAX here is a little range bound. It's been trading in this range for several weeks now. We have a big bullish candle close. I would look for it to go higher to test the high here, this support resistance level. And if everything else goes up, this is likely to go up as well, but it could do one of these because currently it's range bound. So that's the only cautionary note I would say, but it is looking bullish at this moment. If it breaks the high, next target is 11687. So bias is bullish for DAX as well. FTSE here also looking bullish. We have seen a nice bullish close right into our support resistance level. So this is also looking bullish. Next target is, well, let's do this one first, 73.30. And then beyond that, we are looking into 74.30. So bullish bias here for FTSE as well. So if FTSE is, if indices are going up, equity markets are going up, which means yen crosses will generally go up as well because Japanese yen tends to drop when equity markets are going up. All right, any questions about this? If not, CAD goes up when oil goes up, but dollar CAD drops when oil goes up. So that's what I was saying. Dollar CAD goes down when oil goes up. But CAD and oil are positively correlated because Canada is a big oil exporting country. And if oil goes up, Canadian dollar tends to go up as well. All right, so perfect. Now, just before we wrap it up here, just want to mention that we are launching the Turning Pro Challenge tomorrow. If you are interested, I will just do a quick, before we wrap up, I'll just tell you about this one. It starts tomorrow, so we are going to close the enrollment here. So what is the Turning Pro Challenge? Basically, last year I did a Turning Pro Challenge just on my own where I was showing my account and you could see how you could follow along with me my progress. So this year I'm opening it up to a lot of people were interested in that, and I found that people were wanting to do it with me and they were interested in going through that process themselves. So this time I'm doing two different versions. There's a free version where you don't really get a lot of the stuff, but you can do the same thing. You can follow my account along with me and you will be able to see, I'll do a weekly review every week and I'll show you where the account stands at the end of each week. But if you wanted to join me in this challenge, and I have to say this is like one of the best things that I have come across doing this 90-day challenge. It was a little bit difficult last year, but I really am excited about doing this again this year, but it's better to do it in a collaborative way where we are all working together instead of just me sort of doing it on my own. So it won't just be the challenge. So what's included in the 90-day challenge? The idea is to become more disciplined in your trading and to actually, start establishing habits that professional traders have so you could get the same type of results as well. So that's the cornerstone of the 90-day challenge. But if you wanted to join me with this, what you would get is I will also teach you my content. So I'm redoing the program that I have. So every week I will be teaching stuff. So you'll get the step-by-step approach. So all my strategies, how I view the market, my fundamental analysis, all of that will be part of this. So I will be creating a new program here and teaching all of that stuff. So that will be the actual training component of it. And on top of that, you will also get my daily analysis videos. I do this in my trade room. We look at what we just did here, except we look at more pairs on a daily basis, because even though we do the weekly, on a daily, things change because news comes out that impacts the pair. So things can change on day-to-day basis. So every day we take a look at, we do a similar analysis, we mark down the levels that we're expecting the price to go to, what direction we're expecting the price to go, all of that stuff for over 20 different pairs. And then you have an option to pick and choose which ones you like and if you want to trade them. So you'll get my daily analysis videos, or it's a live call. So if you wanted to attend live with me, you could do that as well. But if you cannot attend live, then you will have the videos. And then the best part, I think, is the accountability program. So basically in the group, I have a Facebook group that I've created for the 90-day challenge. I will show you my complete account. So I'll start off with $5,000 account, and you will be able to see every single trade that I'm taking in that account. You'll be able to see my stops, profit targets, and as I adjust those trades, you will be able to see those as well. And you'll be able to see my trade journals, everything. So in the free one, I only do a weekly recap because otherwise it becomes a lot of work. But with the 90-day challenge, I am essentially doing the program with you. So you'll be able to see all the behind the scenes. And I recommend that you start off with a $5,000 demo account. And basically you'll be showing everything. So that's the accountability part of it. And when I take my trades in my own account, I will post a message in the Facebook group as well. So as I'm taking trades, you'll be able to get that alert from me. But also you can just, my account will be connected to my FX book. So you'll be able to go check that as well. And then anybody who's in the Facebook group will have like full-on access to my FX book. But with the free one, I'll just do a weekly review as opposed to the full-on thing. So, but anyway, so if you wanted to get the trading signals and setups, you will have those as well. And of course, I have the private Facebook group set up, where I will be, you will have a lot of access to me. I'll be answering questions through that Facebook group, and you'll be able to interact with me. Any problems or challenges that you have in your day-to-day trading, I'll be able to support you through the Facebook group. And of course, like I just mentioned, you will see all my trades, my live account, my trade journal. Basically, it will be a fully transparent program that you'll have access to everything essentially. So just to recap, basically you'll have a weekly training seminar, webinar with me where I will actually teach you all my strategies and my views on the market. You'll have a daily analysis with me. There'll be accountability program. You'll get my trade setups and signals. You'll be part of the private Facebook group where you can interact with me and ask me questions and so forth. And of course, you will get a full behind the scenes, transparent access to my trading account where you can see everything that I'm doing. And you can see on a daily basis where I'm at with that. So this is it. Normally I would charge $2,000 for it, but right now, because we're just launching it, you'll get this for $997 for the 90 days. So you'll get full-on training as well as accountability to go with it. So I haven't seen another program that really does this, especially the accountability part and transparency. It's like a boot camp. So you learn, but you also get to practice. And actually one more thing that I haven't talked about here, you'll get a chance to get funded as well. So what I'm looking for is after 90 days, I will pick someone who has met all the criteria. So basically anyone who's doing the trade journals, they're learning, they've gone through the training, they are using, you know, the proper methodology that I am teaching. So you got your stops and everything else in place. So basically they are scoring high on there'll be a spreadsheet. They're scoring high on the scorecard. So then after the 90 days, they'll have a chance to get funded with a $5,000 account. So we'll start off with the demo first. You don't have to show me a live account. I suggest you trade a demo account through this time because it's about learning more so than getting rich quick here. This is a long term. How do you become successful over a long term? So we'll do a demo, we'll do a small live account, and then a $5,000 live account here. So you'll get a chance to get funded by me. And so basically what I'm saying here is for the next 90 days, if you're really serious about your trading, if you want to at some point become a full-time trader, or you really want to get serious and want to start making consistent income from your trading, I highly recommend that you join the program. Like I said, I love this challenge, and I'm really excited about participating with other traders and doing this in a collaborative way where we support each other. So instead of bringing somebody down, we support each other and we do this together. So that's it. So if you want to do this, you can go to, oh, I don't have a link here. Okay, I will post a link in the video. So just go to the link there. It will be in the description of the call there, and you can sign up for the program. It's just $997. All right, so that's all I have. Any questions here before we wrap up? Okay, so that's it for now. You guys have a wonderful rest of the weekend, and I will see you, if you join me, I will see you tomorrow in the Turning Pro Challenge group. If not, I'll see you next week then. Bye for now.